Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small, the owner of CMS Law Firm. Today, I want to talk about a Washington State estate tax update that matters. Before I get to that though, I want to remind you, if you have questions about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, and you want to talk with us over the phone for free, you can do so by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, I don't think I've talked about this before. This is actually not a super new estate tax update. It happened last year, but because I don't think I've talked about it, I know about it, I thought I would talk about it, just so that you know. And it's important whether you live in Washington State or out of Washington State. If you own real estate, you'll see where this is going. So Washington State legislature, I'm guessing, updated the law with regard to estate taxes in June in 2020. I think it took effect June in 2021. Basically, what happened was they changed the way that certain property classified in a certain way is treated when it comes to estate tax calculations. So to sort of set the table, there are really two types of property. There is tangible property. Tangible property would be like real estate, money, okay, things like that. And there is intangible property. Intangible property would typically be things like businesses, okay, like corporations, things like that. All right, that's not. I know if you're an attorney and you're out here like you're yelling at the screen, I know that's not the best definition, but it's good enough for what we're talking about today. So there used to be a rule where intangible property, I believe, was not counted for estate tax purposes if you were in Washington State. They changed the rule. Basically, what they'd said was any Washington resident that owns intangible personal property is going to be, and there's real estate in it, it's going to be counted as Washington State property. Okay, so what that means is, let's say you own a rental house in North Carolina, like I do, and you have that rental property in a North Carolina LLC, and you, as a Washington resident, own that North Carolina LLC. Okay, what they're saying is, in the past, you likely would not have had to pay estate tax on that asset, because it is an intangible asset. It's not located in the state, and the property is not located in the state either. But if you own that LLC that holds that real estate as a Washington State resident, now that property, the value of that property, is going to be counted as part of your Washington State assets. Okay, this is a problem. If you own property out of state and it's an LLC and you're a Washington resident, it could be a problem. It's going to pull that into your Washington State estate tax calculation. Now, why did they do this? I don't know. I have no idea. It's probably to do something. It's probably to take care of some other wrinkle, and they just sort of sucked in everything. Now, if you are not a Washington State resident and you own Washington State property, there's potentially an advantage here for you if you put your Washington State property into an LLC. Because when that happens, then your tangible real estate becomes intangible property interest, and then it's deemed to be owned in the state of residence where the person lives, in Washington State specifically. So if you live in Arizona and you have a Washington rental house or a Washington vacation house and you put it into an LLC, then when you die, that property technically should not be counted as part of your estate for Washington State estate tax purposes, because you are an Arizona resident, and because of that, you own the LLC. It's deemed to be an Arizona property interest, not a Washington property interest. Hopefully that makes sense. Basically, if you're a Washington State resident and you own property, period, you should probably talk to an estate planning attorney if you care about this kind of stuff. If you are an out-of-state person and you own Washington real estate, then you probably want to talk to someone as well, just so you know what's going on. Okay, that is it. Hopefully that made some sense. If it did, and you like it, hit the like button, and if you're somewhere you can subscribe. If you have questions related to this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, and you want to talk with us over the phone for free, you can do so by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, that is it. As always, I am Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon. See ya.